Good morning. So nice to have you watching 3+U. I know I say that to you every morning, but it's because I always mean it. Hope you're having a good day and looking forward to good things ahead. If you are lucky enough this morning to be working from home and perhaps you have a dog curled up at your feet, you know, there is nothing better than the love of a pet owner and their pet. Lisa Waggoner certainly knows that. She became a blessing in our lives several years ago on the show, and she and her husband Brad began to come down from Murphy, North Carolina to share their dog training tips with us, and she's back on the show this morning. Hey, Lisa.
Hey there, Julie. Thanks so much for having us.
I'm thrilled to have you. I'm sorry that you can't be here with me because you've got a darling new puppy in your life named Keaton, who we'll have a chance to meet. But
yes,
I want to say congratulations to you because you reached out to me not long ago. You've written this book called Rocket Recall, and boy, are dog owners of all ages of dogs taking to it. Lisa, what makes it so compelling?
You know, I think it's compelling because it teaches dog owners, dog guardians, the two things that people have asked us over 17 years. How do I get my dog to listen to me, and how do I get my dog to come when called? We need attention from our animals in order to help them learn and to live in our world. And recall, the call to come, teaching your dog to come, is a life-saving skill. Not only a life-saving skill, but it gives you the ability to have more off-leash fun with your dog.
Which is what everyone wants. We've all probably experienced walking our dog in the neighborhood, tugging a little bit and being almost embarrassed because other people seem to have this natural, easy relationship. But you say it takes work, and even if you've just recently adopted a dog from a shelter who's 6 or 7 years old, you can still create that bond.
Absolutely. Dogs learn at any age of their life. All it takes is a little bit of focus. Just like building a person-to-person relationship, time spent together doing things that each person enjoys is what helps build that relationship and that bond. So building a bond through positive reinforcement training is what's going to get you there.
So we're Zooming this morning. You were able to develop your business. COVID, I guess, was a great benefit to dog owners across the world because you're doing virtual conversations like this with them and their pets from home. But nothing brings it home like watching you in action. So you had, I know you lost her recently, but a beloved dog, Kaylee, and you sent us a video to kind of demonstrate what this rocket recall looks like. Set it up for us.
So after you follow the training protocol in my book, which is progressive, one prior exercise builds on the next, you can, with practice, follow through is important, right? I can teach things, but you have to follow through with your dog. You can help your dog learn to turn on a dime and return to you with rocket-like speed when you call them to come. So you'll see Kaylee where we live, traveling. She's out of sight when I call her, so my recall cue is loud, and you'll hear it be loud. And she travels several acres to me with rocket-like speed to return.
Okay, so let's take a look.
There she is, bottom right of the screen. What a good girl!
So obviously this is, oh, look at her coming. How far away was she, Lisa?
She's a couple acres away.
And could she actually hear you? Or
she could hear me because I was very, very loud with my call.
Wow. And how long did that take for you to develop in her? Because you had her from a puppy.
I had her from a puppy. She probably had a really solid recall like that, maybe not at that distance, within 8 or 9 months.
Okay, so with you live, I mean, obviously you have the acreage to accommodate that. Look at her, so happy to come back to you. If you live, though, in a neighborhood where there are perhaps other dogs or people who are going by running and that type of thing, where you want to make sure your dog follows your instruction only, is that one of the reasons why this is so important?
One of the reasons I wrote the book, because it's important to train with progressive steps. You can only move to the next step when your dog has been successful in attaining a recall in a no distraction environment. And we have to build in distractions very, very slowly to help the dog learn to work within that distracting environment.
Okay, and the more that you work with your dog, I mean, don't they kind of want to perform for you, Lisa?
You know, I would say that dogs, dogs will do what works for them. And so if we're paying them well for a job well done, then they're going to want to work with us.
Okay, so I know that I mentioned you recently lost Kaylee, and I'm so sorry for that, but you and Brad, who is patiently sitting behind you, will never live without a dog in your lives, and you love Australian Shepherds. So you have a new little friend named Keaton.
We do. Would you like to meet him now?
I would love to meet Keaton.
All right, I'm going to change my video screen, so bear with me while I get down on Keaton's level.
And is that important, Lisa, by getting down to see him? Is that a way to keep a puppy from jumping?
So that could be another show, but the thing about keeping a puppy from jumping is providing things for them low on the floor. So when in the beginning, when he came home, certainly he wanted to jump up on me or chase my flowing pant legs. Gone to the flowing pant legs, tight jeans, tight pants. And then anything I'm doing with him, when I'm walking, I have a tuck toy in his mouth so he doesn't jump and bite. Or if he's near me, I just drop a piece of food on the floor to drive his focus down to the floor versus up on me.
Okay.
The more we reinforce the things we like, the more we're going to get it. If he's walking up to me, before he jumps, I'm going to pet him, or I'm going to drop a piece of food on the floor that he goes to get.
Okay. I know that you are a believer in making sure that your dog and you are connected. It's almost like dressage with a horse or something. So you have something called the check-in game. Is that what you use to teach dogs how to focus on you specifically?
Absolutely. Yes, the check-in game is waiting for your dog to offer attention, and then the moment they do, you mark with a verbal yes and then reinforce. So I'm going to wait for him to look up at me. He's really tired now. He may not, so I might move on to the name game. Keaton. Yes. So when I said his name, you looked up.
Okay. And I think, again, you provided a video for us to watch, correct?
I do, yes. You have the check-in game on video.
Okay, let's take a look at that too.
So Puppy Keaton has been just a little bit aroused, playing with toys here in my training studio. And I have some very small pea-sized pieces of food in my treat bag. Those pieces of food are going to be his paycheck for a job done well. And the job done well that I'm going to be working on is demonstrating the check-in game. So the check-in game is waiting for your dog to offer attention to you. Operative word, offer attention. You're going to mark it with a verbal yes, and you're going to reinforce him with a yummy piece of food. So I'm going to place a piece of food away to get his attention away from me. Yes, he comes back. I can feed him to the mouth. I'm going to reset him, move him away from me. There it is, sweet boy. Right there. It's hard to see. Right. Get it. Get it. Right there, baby. There you go. Yes. So I don't care right now that he's looking me in the eyes. I'm just marking the fact that he's coming back toward me, which I like. This way, buddy.
Oh, Lisa, he is so preciously cute. And I'll tell you what I noticed. You told me this a long time ago, and for most people it's an obvious thing. But he was trying to go get the food, but he was a little bit confused because you were placing it away, yet he had gotten it from you. And you didn't say no to him. You didn't get frustrated. You said, over here, sweet boy. The tone of your voice is very important, isn't it?
It is. We can speak in a regular, sweet tone of voice to our dog. You do not need to bark commands at your dog. You know, just like Brad and I in our relationship, if he invites me or asks me to do something, he's not going to say it in a really stern voice. So, yes, speaking with your dog kindly and gently and helping them learn what you want them to do is the key to success with your dog.
Okay, so I know we're going to check in with you again next Friday. We're going to kind of give folks a week to put some of these things to practice, and then we'll put some more of your tips from your book and your 17 years of experience to play for our audience. So it would be important to remember that to teach the check-in, put something at a distance from you and then have your dog bring it back to you. Is that the idea?
No, so it will depend on where your dog's focus is. In the video, Keaton was very focused on me. So I had to toss a piece of food to get him away from me, because he's learned in 3 weeks in our home that good things come from me. So I pretty much had his rapt attention, especially when I have his paycheck, a little piece of food in my hand. So in order, like right now, in order to get him away from me, to then have him turn back to me, I have to place the food away. He turns back. He's gone after his rope toy right now. Yeah, so he turned back. He oriented toward me. That's fine. I'll take that. I'm not waiting for eye contact yet. I'm marking and reinforcing any orientation toward me, and then over time, I can build that eye contact, which I have with him a lot.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
So patience is key, repetition is key, and consistency is key.
Absolutely. Click, treat, Julie.
Okay. In the meantime, I know people can find out more on your website. They can also go to rocketrecall.com, right, and get the book that way?
Correct. ColdNoseCollege.com, RocketRecall.com. You can find us on Facebook at Cold Nose College and YouTube at Cold Nose College.
Well, I got to tell you something. When that video played of you that you sent of you and Keaton, you should have heard all the oohs and ahs in the studio. Way too cute. Lisa, thank you, and we'll just talk again next week.
I look forward to it. Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks. You too.
Summer is over. Count on Local 3 News for your back-to-school needs. Local stories about your child's school.